It's funny all this time, and people still think that Lamborghini is a person. It's basically a souped-up DeLorean or a Lotus. Basically, is what this is. Basically, the DeLorean revisit, pretty much, is what you're actually seeing driving down the road. Same DeLorean, everything, same, just a beefed-up transmission, a little buffer. Basically, Renault Manufacturing, my manufacturing company, that built DeLorean, basically built this car. It's a very nice car, and basically goes on the same lines as basically the DeLorean. Only we changed the gull wings and stuff like that because people were saying that it wasn't quite as good. But basically, this car right here is pretty much basically a DeLorean or a Lotus. That's basically been beefed up and made into a supercar. Of course, DeLorean or the Lotus was actually the first supercar. So LS, Lucifer Star, basically manufacturing. Yeah, it's funny people say DeLorean or Lotus. It's like he wasn't a person. He was a design team, and basically the Lotus design team that pretty much, and basically Renault manufacturing. So and me actually. So I invented the word Lamborghini. So Lamborghini. Anyway, and because to distinguish the Lotus from the Lamborghini, because brand names and other things, and yeah, we built that first one. It's basically just a DeLorean that's been revisited and fixed up and made nice, pretty much. Same transmission, same everything, just a little bit wider stance, a little bit bigger tires, and basically make it a little more powerful and all that, and give it some nice little things, and pretty much. The major differences, though, is that the DeLorean was a metal body or whatever, and some of these are actually fiberglass or a different kind of unibody construction. Whereas the body of the DeLorean was built on a different concept of a frame or something like that. All complicated stuff, but basically, my car is LS Lucifer Star. So anyway, my engines and all that stuff, and basically we manufactured these things. And good car, really. Very nice, very fast. DeLorean was one of the first low cost. Actually, it was Lotus. It was one of the first low cost high performance cars, and then later on, and most people laughed at me and thought that there wasn't a high performance car market, and well, there is. So, and people are willing to pay a lot of money for them. So anyway, and easily afforded paying for that car and everything else. They're not really that much to make though either. They're actually only a little more expensive than a normal car, like $60,000. I don't know versus whatever. So anyway, yeah. But yeah, all these manufacturing plants, whatever. I think if you look, you notice that the same companies that made DeLorean also then went on to make these cars. We do production runs, or we did production runs, and basically you get eventually like this, whatever. People messing around, playing around, and basically using all my different ideas and all that other stuff. And yeah, well, anyway. DeLorean wasn't a person. That LS Lucifer Star. I am a person and also an inventor, and also owned cars and basically sent my production team and my company down the road of building an invention and all that other stuff many years ago, and it worked. People loved them. People loved high performance sports cars. Of course, they also liked the steam cars as well, and we built steam cars and other kind of things, but mostly engines and stuff. And I was one of the first person, or I wanted like power steering and fuel injection and all that other stuff in the cars, and even four-wheel drive. A lot of people said, what's the point of having a four-wheel drive in a sports car? And I said, well, no, if you're going to effectively use the power ratio, you need four-wheel drive and stuff like that. Otherwise, a V12 doesn't really do you much good. I mean, it's effective at high speeds, but, if you're going to be cornering and stuff like that, it's just not the same, so... Yeah, I mean, I did high performance aircraft and basically like the things like the I think it's called the Sparrow originally or something like that, but also like the Mosquito Flyer and basically all the Rolls Royce Merlin engines and basically the flathead forwards, or then it wasn't flathead forward, basically the Rolls Royce engine manufacturing, which is really the Renault manufacturing company, and extensions of basically, and all kinds of high performance cars and all that. Basically, and cars turned out to be with roads and everything. Like I say, what most people don't understand is in order for you to have a car market, you have to have roads. If you don't have roads, you don't have much of a car market. And getting the roads up to par with basically drivable roads a sports car can be on. You know, there wasn't much market until we actually got roads, which are actually fairly expensive in their own right. I think I probably spent more on roads than I actually spent on manufacturing cars. So, and then people can drive around and do stuff like this. So, and then once there are roads, yeah, people bought cars like crazy and loved them to death. I mean, of course, people always kind of liked my tanks and liked my other stuff because it's the only thing that could drive around before there were lots of roads. Anyway, yeah, it gets all complicated. And it's like, well, I mean, when you're manufacturing stuff, for people to like it, it's got to be useful. And if it's not useful, then people aren't going to use it. So, anyway, so it's all part of the package or the deal, getting roads and everything else like that and making them big enough and stuff like that. Originally, roads were only about 4 foot wide or 8 foot wide, and then getting them made into like 16-foot roads so you can have 2 8-foot wide lanes and stuff like that and all that other kind of stuff. And then making them somewhat safe, getting the guardrails up, all that stuff, money, 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 and building crews. So anyway, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm Lucifer Star, so Brian. So yeah, builder, inventor, creator of flight and aircraft, and also really, really, really fast cars. And the word Lamborghini. And also Lutus, that's my name, Lutu. That's whatever. Anyway, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, Lucifer Star. Anyway, a long time ago, I was doing all kinds of stuff and had to come up with names. Oh, the names. I liked it better when it was just number. Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4. But, people want names and brand names, and it just works better than Unit 3, 731 or whatever, and stuff like that. And it's like, well, this is this design group, that's that design group, blah, blah, and figuring it all out. And issues and stuff like that. And then getting them sold and stuff. And basically it had more to do with the fact that I was mining and creating so much metal and just was using the metal for things that people eventually would buy and love and care about and cherish for the rest of their lives. Hopefully longer lives with the safety features and everything that go into basically building these cars. Which is still a lot of stuff, 4-wheel disc brakes, getting away from drums and all that. I never really liked drums, but I used quite a few of them. But, aircraft needed disc brakes because they're better. But some aircraft actually did have drum brakes, quite a bit actually. So, anyway, and drum brakes are arguably better on aircraft than they are on cars or whatever. Anyway, whatever. I don't really care. So, yeah. But there was never, it's funny that a lot of people were like, Lamborghini family. It's like, there was no Lamborghini family. I invented the word and had cars manufactured. It's a brand name. Much like all the others, so. Not a person. I don't know why anybody ever thought that there are Lamborghinis people. There's no Lamborghini family. There's no, just like there's no DeLorean family. Yeah, so. I'm Lucifer Star. LS Titanic, LC Manufacturing, all that fun stuff. So anyway, yeah, they're manufacturing cars and building roads and stuff like that. And lots of people would do all kinds of things and drive them, and Curals would love them and adore them. So anyway, but basically just a DeLorean with that's buffed up, made into a true supercar. Anyway, and people said, "You're crazy, they'll never buy it." And it's like, yeah, they will. They bought a lot of them. They loved them to death. They loved them a lot. So anyway, once people got enough money to be able to afford one, they bought them. Bought lots of them. And I was so rich. Or whatever. Anyway, whatever. And they've been happily manufacturing cars ever since. Once I proved the supercar market. Just like once I proved the truck market and everything else. Anyway, issues, so, yeah. And now they're manufactured in other countries and stuff like that. Mostly Birmingham produced a lot of, not Birmingham, I mean Belfast. My Belfast, I took a train yard and turned it into a car manufacturing place that eventually also produced Lamborghinis and stuff like that. Did quite a few different limited production runs out of the Belfast shipyard. Or Belfast manufacturing plant. Yeah, so. Anyway, yeah, we'll produce lots of cars, and people love them. And then they were using my airports as basically my runways as basically driving courses and stuff like that.